Welcome back. I am Maya Hayakawa and you are watching Politically Correct. If you've just joined us right now, I'm here with one of Nairobi's finest family lawyers. His name is John Swaka, and we've been discussing the marriage law. We got into divorce in terms of what happens when you need to file a divorce, what are the grounds that you can use to file a divorce. And now, when you were talking about those grounds, I'm like, you can pretty much get a divorce for any reason, right? Do you think that in that sense, people are getting more, the rates of divorce are increasing because you can, get a divorce for any reason?
No, yeah, of course, with the new Marriage Act, let me say it's more or less like the grounds have been added or increased. It's a little bit more simpler, but that does not make it a walk in the park. Of course, no court will force two persons to be together where one says they want out. But the courts will, and the law will put you to task to actually demonstrate why you feel that there is no hope again. This marriage is irretrievably broken down. In other words, it cannot be retrieved. It is just over. And it's easy in some jurisdictions, much more easy in some jurisdictions, because all you need to do, you can even have divorce by consent in some jurisdictions. But in Kenya, we can't say that, actually the law does not allow collusion. You say, we've just agreed that let's go different ways. There's no consent.
Really?
It must be demonstrated that you want to be together, but because of other reasons, it's impossible to be together.
How long does that process take by the time that you decide that you want to get a divorce, and by the time it's finalized, how long does that process take?
I think depending on the urgency that you place in your heart. Of course, people are different. Some people want a divorce, but they're also feeling perhaps in the process we might reconcile. So they're taking it they're taking it slowly. Others have made up their minds and they want out, and perhaps there's somebody lining up because they want a quick process. But the process should generally take between 8 months to about a year if handled well, and if handled quicker, then you can have 6 months. You can file the petition, serve on the other side, come back to court, say we have filed, we have exchanged papers. Can you let us proceed for the hearing? The court will give you the permission to take a hearing date, depending on the diary. If the diaries are not full, if the diaries are full, then you'll be given a further date. If you're given a closer date, parties come, you speak your case, she speaks her case, then the court retires for a decision.
I'm just really curious to know, especially for you dealing with this every single day, what are your views and perception towards marriage? Has that changed your mindset?
No, in fact, it doesn't change your mindset. What it does, it just helps you understand marriage more, because you come to understand the kind of things that antagonize people, the kind of things that actually also make people be together. And it just opens more insight to you concerning this particular institution called marriage. And in no sense does it actually take away the desire or maybe the blessing of marriage.
It doesn't scare you at all? I know that you're married, but it doesn't scare you at all, seeing all these reasons and people coming up and, getting a divorce?
No, it doesn't scare me. What it may do, as I said, is just to also open up perhaps your inner eyes for you to actually know what to do and what not to do. Because these are real cases, real people who started out also on a good foot forward, and they were in love. It's not, I'm here to come across a marriage that never had love. But along the road, you realize that mostly, the reason why most of these things happen is because of selfishness. Somebody just decides that I'll take a different path, and perhaps the other one decides I'll take a different path. People fail to work towards a collective, the lack of the collective effort to work towards this unit, because marriage ought to be worked out. But where people take very hard-line positions, one, this is me, and marriage brings in two people who are very different, who must marry. That's why we call it marriage. You must get into each other, and you must try and, flow. But where you are together, but you are two different individuals with different mindsets, aspirations in life, goals and you feel you have your different destinies, it can never work.
Are there cases that you would turn down? And what sort of cases would you say, I'm sorry, I cannot, that's not what I stand for, I can't do that?
No. I don't handle, for example, my relatives' cases. That's one of case maybe I can turn down because both parties will be known to me. Yeah, I'd relate to them in different ways, and I mean, it would be wrong to basically support any of the two.
Has that happened to you before?
Yeah, I've seen cases
where a family member has asked you, I have a divorce, I want to get a divorce.
Even cases of friends, friends whom we grew up together and we be together in some of them we were together on their wedding day. I mean, I was a part of the bridal team, and then it's not working out, and they'll want you to handle this matter either for the lady or for the gentleman. But because these are people who are both known to you, it's a very emotional thing to actually try to juggle. So such cases, I just advise them to pick up very independent lawyers who are perhaps not known to both of them. It becomes a bit easy even for them to move and confide into their lawyer. Yeah, but generally, those who come to you seeking for dissolution of marriage will usually come with grounds. There will be nothing wrong in taking up those cases. I'm not talking about cases of relatives or friends. I'm talking about cases of general people who have come to you. Basically because if somebody can lay out the grounds for a divorce, then definitely that would be it. But let me explain something else that even before you go to court for such cases, you personally try to bring parties together. We offer mediation table. Yeah, is there something we can do? Okay?
Oh, so it's not like I come up to you and I'm like, I want a divorce and that's it. You actually try to reconcile them.
Well, we try to have very independent people to mediate who are not known to them, who don't have their history, and tell them, you see, we can work it out if you're willing. But as I said, where the spouses have made up their minds and say, this is what I want and they want negotiation, then definitely there's nothing much you can do.
Do you absolutely need a lawyer for you to get a divorce? Or can you do it on your own?
No, you do. You can do it on your own.
Okay.
Just follow the law, the procedure. You can go to a lawyer, can advise you, write your documents in this manner, go. It becomes a bit tedious and time consuming, and but it's possible. You can just draw up your papers and go give your story. Line up yourself with the law. Yeah.
I'm curious to know the craziest case that you've ever come across that you're like, this case is a case to remember.
Let me first of all also say that even the courts, some courts will actually indict the parties. Will tell you, you guys, there's hope. Can you try and work it out? Do you want us to give you time? Do you want us to give you more days? But if you insist, no, you want to proceed the hearing and all that, you must understand that the law, once you've been heard, a decree nasa is issued. It's a temporary decree. It's not final. It does not dissolve the marriage. It just says, okay, this marriage is almost there, being dissolved. So after a statutory period of 6 months, it is confirmed. So a decree absolute is issued. So this decree absolute can be issued between 30 days to 6 months. So the court, after hearing you and issuing decree nasi, can say this decree nasi to be made absolute. In other words, the confirmation of this dissolution to be done after 30 days, after 2 months, after 3 months, but not beyond 6 months. That gives parties an opportunity to reflect on what has just happened.
Can the court order you to maybe seek therapy or couples therapy? Can they order you to do that?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, the courts will not order you basically to do that.
They can just advise you. That's the furthest that they can go.
It's not even advice. They'll just, they'll try to, some courts will try to encourage you to perhaps think of, reconciliation, think of mediation, think of, unless you really want it. That's why we're here, to listen to your grievances. But the courts don't have the power to order that you go for therapy, you go into this kind of a discussion. No. Yeah. So saying that between decree nasa and decree absolute, it is an opportunity for the spouses. If they feel like, okay, well, we've learned our lessons, you've reformed, we can come back together, you come back together. You continue living together. But upon decree absolute being issued, that means upon decree nasa being confirmed to be absolute, even if parties will come together, the first marriage is already nullified. So it means you conduct a fresh one. Do you understand? So because now the marriage will have been totally dissolved. Yeah.
All right. Moving on.
Concerning the case that you asked me
Yes.
about any secession case, I remember I handled the case of Wairimu and a gentleman, the husband. The case where it was said that a wife had hired hitmen to finish off the husband, and the hitmen turned out to be policemen. And of course, she was arrested and charged with attempted murder, and But having met both of them and put them around table and talked about all these issues, they were able to see why it reached that level, what had happened, and who had come in, and all that kind of stuff.
What happened then after she was accused of attempted murder? I'm sure there must have been some charges
Of course, the
there.
husband actually came and withdrew the case.
Oh, really? So it
that-
was fine. So, oh, wow.
Yeah, he said, I don't
forgive you.
Yeah, I don't press charges any further.
I know you tried to kill me, but I forgive you. That's
I
great.
forgive you, and happily thereafter, they're together.
All right. Well, moving on to matrimonial property. What does the law say in terms of how you split, the assets and property in the case that you want to dissolve a marriage?
First and foremost, there are three things that must be demonstrated. One, those are marriage. Two, during the existence of this marriage, property was purchased, which form a part of the matrimonial property. That's what we call matrimonial property. Three, now the marriage has been dissolved, or parties are living separate ways. Everybody wants his share. So based on those three, now you can move into the court seeking matrimonial property.
Oh, so that's after you've gotten the official divorce?
No, you can even go before the divorce.
Okay.
You can say we're not tenable, and I want my way, and I want my portion. But most people would rather do it after the dissolution of their marriages. Yeah, of course. What the law says is that the Constitution says that all parties to a marriage have equal rights before, during, and after marriage. And so every person has a right to that matrimonial property. But now the law says you must demonstrate direct contribution to the properties attained, and also indirect contribution. That could be direct. We own a house in Karen worth 200 million. I put in 100 million, you put in the other 100 million. That is direct contribution. Indirect contribution could be, of course, he put in the 200 million, but then I saved him from 1 to 3, 4 other things. In other words, as he was doing this, I totally let him rest from his responsibilities of providing for the family, paying for school fees, for doing this and this. I let him concentrate on that. As me as the wife of the home, or as the mother of the home, did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And that's considered as you
That
having
is considered
contributed.
as indirect contribution. Yeah.
All right. Do you think that that's right, though, in terms of... And first of all, do you hear of stories where there are hidden assets and there are hidden, properties and all that? What happens in those cases like that? And how can you, as a wife, find out if your husband indeed has some hidden assets?
And it's like asking you, how can I know what is in your heart? It's a bit tricky and very difficult. Why? Because unless parties are encouraged, parties to a marriage are encouraged to be open to one another and speak honestly to each other, at the demise of one person, assuming one person passes on with hidden properties, Unless it's revealed in a manner or in a way, you may never be able to know. Stashed monies in accounts, foreign accounts, unless you have some sort of evidence that you can follow up, you may not be able to. And so, properties that are hidden, properties that are not in the knowledge of your spouse, may not be properties that somebody may follow. You may have a feeling that there are more properties hidden out there, but what can you do to properties that you don't have knowledge of? What can you do with property that you don't have proof of existence? They may be existing, but you don't have proof.
So would you advise a husband to hide some of his assets?
Anybody can hide. The wife could hide. The husband could hide.
Is it a good idea?
No. It's it destroys the spirit of the marriage, because then marriage is a voluntary union. Remember, it's voluntary union of a man and a woman, to the exclusion of the rest, unless it's polygamy, to the exclusion of the rest. These people fusion together and become one thing. And so once you start the hide and seek games, then you're basically pulling apart. You are destroying the spirit of that marriage. For me, my advice will be open to one another, understand and believe that you are one thing, basically, by virtue of the union, and that you are not competitors, but you are players on the same side of the team. You're in one team. You're working towards the building and the betterment of this particular outfit. And so it should not be an issue of let me hide and be able to defraud the other party. Then I don't think it serves any purpose for the marriage.
All right, thank you for that. We need to take a quick break once again, but when we come back, I want us to discuss a little bit about prenuptial agreements, what the law says about that, what your thoughts are on it. So make sure that you stay tuned. More with John Swaka when we come back here at Politically Correct.